uncles and aunties of the internet. I call you guys uncle and aunties because from analysis, most of you that watch this channel are older than me, so I'll call you uncles and aunties. And welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be discussing the Nigerian movie Man of God that was released in Easter. I realized this is about 2 weeks late, but who's ever early for anything? Anyway, to analyze this movie, I learned some skills by the way of movie analysis because I feel like I should improve my channel, something that we should all do, improve what we are doing. So this movie, little backstory, was produced by Bolanle Austin Peters Production. I have actually not watched anything they have done, but according to my research, they do musicals. Yes, they have a lot of musicals, and the owner Bolanle Austin Peters owns Terra Culture. For movies, apart from musicals, they have produced movies like Blink, Lagosians, and 93 Days. So this research, let me tell you, explained a lot of things in this movie because I was quite confused at some point. Now to the movie. According to the plot on Netflix, which I'm just going to paste here, I didn't want to use this plot because I don't know who wrote it, so I don't think it accurately captured the essence of the movie. So I went on to what do they call that place? Google. Yes, I went to Google and I went to search for something else. So I found the review on IMDb. And according to IMDb, the storyline goes like this. Having been scarred by his disciplinarian father, Pastor Josiah Obalolu, Samuel Obalolu turns his back on his family, leaving home never to return. Sam's soul is trapped in 2 triangles. On one hand, 3 women vying for his heart, and on the other, the love of God, lust for money, and harbored deep resentment for his father's rescues for his soul. What will be the ultimate faith of Sam's soul, based loosely around the prodigal son story? The MOG, meaning Man of God, is dramatic, colorful, vibrant, and suspense-filled. Now, this, according to IMDb, is written by Bolanle Austin Peters herself. So this is what we're going to go with. So that's the storyline, according to the writer or the producer of this movie. Now, we're here to see if they delivered on that storyline. Now, to properly analyze this movie, key elements, the dialogue of this movie wasn't bad at all. They had good pacing between the characters. Some of it was weird, but most of the time they had good dialogue and dynamics between the characters. The acting itself was okay. They did above average acting. The characters were sufficient in their roles, what they asked them to play. The costumes, there's one thing I saw towards the end. They kept wearing these, I don't know what they call them on these trousers. I'll put it in so you can tell me the name. But it's just like, who still wears that in 2022? But anyway, I guess choices. I don't think there was a lot of symbolism in this movie, apart from the fact that they were trying to emulate the story of the prodigal son in the Bible. I really don't think there was any symbolism of any sort. We are going to go towards what I didn't like or what didn't work in this movie. According to the plot we read earlier, Samuel is in 2 triangles with 3 women. Then his love for money, his love for God, lust for money, and his resentment for his father. Now, this other triangle, he didn't love God, basically. Samuel he never had I love God moment in this movie. There was nothing like that. Even when he went back home to meet his father, it wasn't out of repentance, I don't have anywhere else to go, so I'll go back home. Now, the other triangle, the love for the women, he had 2 women that loved him. Rebecca's feelings for him were unclear. We didn't know to what extent she actually liked Sam in this movie. So that's a bit of a stretch to say there was a triangle on both sides. It was more like just straight lines. Anyway, Moving on, another thing I don't like is how other characters were not well developed. Like we could only see the movie through the eyes of the main character, and I guess that's what the main character is meant to serve as. We see the movie like everybody's dynamic relates to them, but in well written scripted as movies, you also get a little bit of backstory about everybody else so that their stories fit in better with the main character. But in this movie, we didn't get that. All we got was everybody's story through the eyes of Samuel. So even reason why Joy left Samuel for Zach, what transpired, we don't know. We don't know who Teju is apart from who she was to Sam. We don't know. We know nothing about Rekiat apart from who she is to Sam. So you get like everybody's story is linked to their relationship with Sam and nothing else. So there's nothing else to use to identify who these people are. I'm sorry if you can hear a noise in the background. I don't know what that is. So back to what I was saying, everybody's story revolves around Samuel. So you don't understand anybody else apart from Samuel. Now where this becomes very glaring is where Samuel's brother Daniel comes to meet him in his office or in his house comes to inform him that his mother has died. If we knew a little bit about the relationship between Samuel and Daniel and who Daniel was as a person, we would have understood what was going on. But I was quite confused. Okay, appropriate reaction to his mother has died because he has been ignoring her for years. For Samuel to feel bad and cry, understand that. But I don't get why Daniel was angry. I actually get it a little. I mean, he ignored his parents. But it wasn't as if Daniel didn't know the reason why Samuel didn't want to come back home. His father was abusive towards him. What I don't get is Daniel's reaction to Samuel when Samuel asked him if he wanted anything like money or you should bring their father to Lagos, and Daniel blew up. I think it was supposed to be dramatic, but I don't understand the drama. Like, where is this coming from, guys? What's it? Why are you so touchy? And this, I'm sure there was a warranted reason for it from the scriptwriter's perspective, but we will never know because we do not. It wasn't shown in the movie. Do you get? It wasn't shown in the movie, so we would never know. There's some unnecessary placings in that movie that they could have just cut out and just put like something about Samuel's family so we can understand them better. Well, apparently we didn't get that. That's just one of the things that really stood out to me. So the lack of character development made some scenes unbearable. We actually saw the dynamics in Teju and Samuel's marriage. We see that Samuel didn't actually like her. She was just the available person to pick him up from his state of brokenness. And I think we should all learn from that. It's good to help people through their brokenness, but not that you now expect them, or not that you should form a deep relationship with them to marry them. It's good to help people through their breakfast and be there for them, but after that, please pack your loads and go, because you're probably not over the person that gave them the breakfast in the first place. So Teju got a taste of that, and I was so happy at the end that she reported him to the state authorities for him to be arrested because he deserved it. He treated her like trash. I think that's just one thing that I didn't like about this movie. Now another thing that I didn't like, where this script writing became very glaringly short of standard, or short of what standard is a big word, or short of what it should have been, they didn't really focus on where they should have focused on, was when Samuel went back home. Now according to plot, he harbors deep resentment for his father. For Samuel to go back home means he had forgiven his father. And for the forgiveness to have happened, there should have been like a process towards that. Maybe realization in prison or something, communication in prison or something. But we didn't get that. Samuel was just arrested, and next thing we saw him going back home to meet his father. And the reunion in the church, I didn't understand. I didn't understand it, because apparently if you are following the script, Samuel and his father were not on good terms. We don't even know how Samuel's father felt towards him. We didn't know if he actually wanted him back, or maybe he was happy, good riddance, bad rubbish. We don't know that because it wasn't adequately explained. Everything was just so vague. So in scenes where it's meant to elicit an emotion from you, you don't get emotional, or you don't feel anything. Like, okay, I don't get why guys are emotional, but good for you. All this boils down to the way the story was written. They call this a dramatic movie. It is not. It's just there. It falls flat on the dramatic. You have a few dramatic scenes, maybe one or two, but the rest of it is just there. I don't know what word to use. The movie is just basically there. Good things about this movie. I really like the dialogue between the people. I like the things they said. Like the prayers they prayed, what you hear in a typical Nigerian church. The discussion about music, good for people that love music, something you probably hear. The youth pastor in church, that's probably how a youth group will sound, and how a youth pastor will sound, or how a pastor in general will sound. The dialogues were not cringy, not at all. The dialogues were alright, especially the banter between Rekia and Samuel. Very nice banter, flows really nicely. So that I like about that, because they're not trying to be what they were not. It was very Nigerian in its dialogue. I also liked the setting of the movie, like the what they call that thing. I think it's the setting of the movie, like the locations. Yes, I like the locations they used. Especially I liked when he went into luxury, it was proper luxury. He had a house with a view. The house was amazing. Even Rekia's house was amazing when they made it. And I loved Osa's outfits in this movie. That's Teju. I love the outfits. They're very nice and modest, and what you expect from a pastor's wife that has fashion sense. So that's I think those are the plus of the movies. There are a lot of things that didn't need to be added, like the scene with Justin's sister. Justin is the lady that Samuel made her get an abortion. The scene with Justin's sister was just unneeded, because she was calling a murderer and all that for nothing. Like it didn't disturb Samuel's peace of mind, like until the very tail end, when everything was crashing down on him, because he didn't know. And that's if she got justice for her sister. Nothing of the sort. So I don't think that was just a waste of space in that movie. This movie fell short a little bit of what it was aiming to get to, yes, but was it a good watch? Probably. Also maybe. So if you don't mind, it's not something you watch like to be properly entertained. Maybe you are just using to pass time, or you need something sharp to watch, or to just maybe release your stress a little bit. You need something else than work. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this 6. Yes. So what really brought it down was not really the acting, it was the script itself. The script was not well developed. The plot was not well developed, or the script itself was not well developed to fit the plot or what they were going for in general. So but I really appreciate Nollywood for their stories, because it's true doing get better. I really appreciate them for trying this. Now I think that's the end of this video. I was going to do more Christian, in-depth lesson on Christian things, but another day, another movie. So I will see you guys in my next one. Until then, please do subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Thanks and God bless. Till next time. I remain nobody, because I don't do that. Bye.